Greetings, people. I come again in peace. Let me address the latest nonsense doing the rounds. That Anthony Joshua versus Prenga fixed. It's an accusation that's become all too easy to throw around when people don't like a fight or can't accept the result. Here's the question. Where's the tangible evidence? Not hearsay, speculation, rumours, or just Simon Jordan tweeting his not-so-cryptic accusations, who lacks the knowledge of the nuance of boxing and has an unusual mania for AJ and Eddie Hearn, is supposed to be a responsible boxing commentator, pundit. I mean, think about it. This is a radio host and reporter who has the ears of millions of people, the sane and the insane. How unprofessional can you get? Can't he keep his emotions in check? Simon and others are stoking up the fire under the casuals, haters and paranoiacs. People are actually making connections and pulling ideas out of the ether.
Thing goes. So I'm looking at that, I'm thinking, I'm not sure, mate. Then but then you've got Simon that backs that up, and then you've got Paulie that comes on, he backs that up too, and these guys are, well, they're better
Simon
experts
is not,
than me.
Simon,
Simon's not a boxing expert.
Not a boxing expert.
I know he's not a boxing expert, but Paulie comes in and says the same, roundabout the same thing.
Carlton Cole, ex-West Ham player, said that Prenga usually knocks people out in the second round.
To him, oi, what you doing, son?
So apparently, all his knockouts, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, have been in the second round. Most of his knockouts.
Yes. What does that mean? Okay. And
the majority, majority of Prenga's knockouts have been in the second round. So initially he knows he can knock him out in the second round because he's been doing that to other opponents.
You're doing
random associations that mean nothing. There's no explanation. What is he talking about? I've even heard that AJ touched his boots before he started his offensive on Prenga in the second round, and it was a sign. Well, if you've been watching boxing long enough, you'll know that that's something that came from many boxers. Roy Jones, I think, did it. But Buatsi, he does it all the time. It's a taunt. It's showing off. AJ probably did it to prove he's not scared and he's a class above. Anyway, who in their right mind would use that as a signal? Not discreet or subtle, is it? Grasping at straws. Saying a professional boxing match is fixed is an incredibly serious allegation. You're not just accusing Anthony Joshua, you're accusing Prenga of risking his reputation. You're accusing both training camps, the promoters, the officials, the commission, the referee, and everyone else involved of fraud. That's a huge, irresponsible claim. Boxing is not run by the mafia anymore. If they don't like something, they sue, not get the goons in. Everybody was saying Prenga is a walkover, so why would he need a payoff? Now people are going on their feelings. I just have a feeling. A feeling isn't proof. Prenga has built his career to reach opportunities just like this. Why would a fighter throw away years of sacrifice for a payday that would pale into insignificance compared to the amount of money he could demand if he did beat Joshua? And why would Joshua, coming off setbacks and under enormous scrutiny, choose to risk everything in an illegal scheme when he needs a legitimate victory to rebuild his position? He wants to gauge where he is himself. And last weekend was a perfect gauge for him to work on his weaknesses. Look, I like a compelling and persuasive conspiracy, but this isn't one. It's as believable as dogs coming from Neptune. The truth is far less exciting than conspiracy theories, I'm afraid. Boxing is unpredictable. Styles make fights. One punch changes everything. Sometimes favourites lose. Sometimes underdogs shock the world. That's why we watch. What is Simon Jordan doing commenting on boxing? He said he's not having that. He said because AJ was dropped twice and sets the tempo. What? What tempo? Prenga was frantically trying to finish the job and nearly blew a gasket. Something not quite right, he says. Prenga different in the second round. Well, that tends to happen, especially if it was early in the fight. Was George Foreman and Michael Moorer a fix? What about Diego Corrales v. Luis Castillo? How about Julio Cesar Chavez v. Meldrick Taylor? What about that one? Huney v. Wardley, White v. Povetkin, Woods v. Conlon, Froch v. Taylor, Juan Manuel Marquez v. Manny Pacquiao, and hundreds more against the run of play. They're classics. This is what boxing is about. Coming back from adversity. It's one of the purest examples of the human spirit. Resolute, determined, relentless persistence.
Stay down.
The qualities we all admire in our fellow men and women the world around. And that is embodied in this sport.
You're beat. You're gonna have to kill me.
So much so that quitting is frowned upon. Simple Simon says, He's just apoplectic that AJ turned the tables. In his mind, he's not supposed to be able to do that. But he has done it before. Could you imagine how excited, thrilled and delighted he was after the first round? I bet he couldn't wait to get back to work and announce to his audience what a flat track bully AJ was and that he's never been any good. Doesn't his tweet sound like someone's rained on his personal parade? You see, calling every fight you don't like fixed doesn't make you insightful. It just lowers the standard of discussion. If you think Prenga isn't good enough, say that. If you think Joshua should be fighting someone else, argue that. If you think the matchmaking is too cautious, make your case. Claiming the fight is fixed without evidence is simply an accusation dressed up as analysis. Look, boxing already struggles with public trust. It's taken years to clean it up. And I know we have other players coming in that are muddying the waters again. And yes, of course, there's dubious businessmen and things going on in boxing. But this is a major fight. Two passionate people who have everything to lose and everything to win. Throwing around baseless allegations only damages the sport and unfairly targets the people whose livelihoods depend on it. Dummy. There is no credible evidence, just clickbait and social media speculation. The sensible position is straightforward. Judge the fight by what happens in the ring. There was nothing that happened in that fight that doesn't happen every day in boxing. And you would think Simple Simon would know that. What is concerning is the number of people caught up in this groupthink. It's like a plague. This herd fanaticism, a feeding frenzy of paranoia. I think that's more like the real conspiracy. Maybe they've laced the chemtrails with hallucinogens. Now that is more of a possibility. Anyway, thanks for listening. Please subscribe. And remember, choose life. Thank you.